We are now going to look at using EndNote with Word. So to do this, ensure your EndNote library is open and active, and also ensure that your Word document has the EndNote tools available. These should install when you install EndNote. You can add references to an existing document like this one, or you can add them as you are writing. The EndNote tools will look slightly different for a Mac. The functions are all there, they're just organised slightly differently. To insert a reference, we can use the Insert Citation option on the far left. The first thing, however, is to ensure that the referencing style that you wish to use is listed. It is also possible to see this in EndNote itself. It's listed here, and you can also change it here by selecting from the shortlist, or if it's not listed there, going in to select another style. Sometimes, however, if you set it here, it may not be set also in Word, so do double check this. However, don't worry if you start writing in a particular style and then realise that's not the right one. You can easily change it by switching here, and that will update the entire document, which is one of the strengths of using something like EndNote. Once you have set your style, and I'm going to use APA 7th today, you can then insert your cursor where you would like your reference to appear. Remember, wherever your cursor is where your reference will appear. There's two ways you can insert a citation. You can either use this Insert Selected Citations, which will insert whichever citation you currently have selected in EndNote. You can also insert a citation. So I have something selected and I'll go Insert Selected Citations. You can also insert from the Insert Citation option. And with this one, you have the option of searching for the information about the reference. It will list the reference or references. If there's multiple matches, they will be listed at the top and you can move between them, and the relevant details will be listed at the bottom. So you are ensuring that the one you want is included here. You can then either click on Insert just to pop it in, but you can also select other formats. For example, author and then the year in brackets, or you can exclude the author. And those two options are commonly used when you've used the author information within the text. So this time I'll just insert. You will also notice that once you start inserting references, it will start building a reference list at the end of your document. And it will do this in the format required by the style. So for APA, which is an author date style, the reference list is sorted by first author, last name, alphabetically. And EndNote will automatically do that for you. You can also insert multiple references within a single reference. And this is because sometimes you've taken an idea, or perhaps it's a theory, from multiple sources and you need to acknowledge all of them. The best way to do that is to use the Insert Selected Citations by selecting the references in EndNote itself, returning to Word, and using Insert Selected Citations. And as you can see, they're both added in the reference, separated by a semicolon as required by APA, and then it has inserted the references within the reference list and alphabetically organised. You are also able to adjust an existing reference by highlighting it and coming into Edit and Manage Citations. Now, anytime you need to make an adjustment to a reference, either to add information, change the format, or remove information, use the Edit and Manage Citations tool. As we said earlier, this is information created by EndNote, not Word, so you must use the EndNote tools to do any edits. From here, you can add page numbers by putting information into the Pages field. You can also add information at the end of a reference which is what suffix means at the end, and you can add information at the beginning in the prefix as required. Remember to include any spacing and punctuation in the correct format as well. And as you can see, this will only affect the citation you've selected. It will not access or affect other references if you use the same reference multiple times. It will also not add multiple instances of the same reference to your reference list. However, if it's the only reference you've used and you remove it, it will also remove it from the reference list. As mentioned earlier, if you do need to make any changes to a reference, you've noticed a typo or something incorrect, to make the change, you must come back to EndNote and edit the reference there. We just click save. However, it may not update straight away. So if you want to update your document, you can just click on Update Citations in Bibliography, and we can now see that change has taken effect. You can also, when it comes to deleting references, you must use your Edit and Manage Citations option. For this formatting to happen, there's computer code behind it. If you just delete using Cut or Backspace or Delete on your keyboards, sometimes that code can get left behind, but it's invisible to your eye. And over time, this can cause corruptions to your document, such as referencing not formatting correctly or not formatting at all. So to delete a reference cleanly, highlight it, come into Edit and Manage Citations, and come up to the Edit Reference at the top of the screen and go to Remove Citation. That will remove the reference cleanly, and it will also cleanly move it from the reference list itself. Also, if you are submitting a paper to something like Turnitin or Authenticate or for a journal submission, we do recommend removing the EndNote coding or field coding. You can do this with some EndNote tools, and it will also retain the references in the correct formatting. To do this, first save your document, and then in Word, come up to the Convert Citations and Bibliography option and choose Convert to Plain Text. What this will do is create a second copy, as the message here states. With the EndNote functionality gone, which we can now see by clicking on a reference and it doesn't go grey, but we can still see the formatting. If we come down to our Word, we can see the original document and we now have a copy, which at this point is not saved. You can then take this plain text version and use it to submit. We also recommend saving this under a name that identifies it as the plain text version. This just prevents you accidentally deleting the wrong version. Once a plain text has been made as such, this cannot be reversed. You are able to start adding references again, but it will start adding a second reference list, and you will not be able to adjust these original references with using EndNote. So using Microsoft Word and EndNote, you can change the referencing style between various options. So you can easily move between an author date style such as APA and a numbered style such as Vancouver. However, moving from a footnote style to either of those, or from an author date or numbered style to footnoting, is a little bit more involved. So please see your liaison librarian for further information. But just to show how that can work, ensure that you do it to your original EndNote document. And you can now see it is easily switched to a numbered style, and I can easily switch it back.